Hi folks, and welcome back to the Yellow Bicycle Cafe Lockdown Kitchen. Ready for our second video so far. I hope you're all coping well with having to stay indoors, or if you're a key worker and out working, I hope you're staying safe and everything's going well for you. We don't know how long this is going to last, but this is all about trying to make the most of it. And it's great to see, and I'll hear so many stories about people cooking more than they've cooked before, cooking things, trying things they've never done. This is maybe the time to do that, and also making use of what we can find out there. So what we're doing today is a dish that every time we've done it in the cafe has been incredibly popular. This was actually a request from one of our customers. It's called Shakshuka, which is a Middle Eastern, North African dish. Fundamentally, it is a tomato and pepper stew with some lovely eggs poached in the top. That's the basis of it. If you take the time to Google it and look at various recipes, it's one of those ones where there's almost an infinite supply, variety, of different recipes out there, different regions, different places. Some have got meat in, some haven't, some have got things sprinkled on the top, some haven't. What we're basically going to do today is the base of it, and then you can add things to it, and we'll talk about what you can add to it as you go along. But this is a very simple, basic shakshuka, delicious as it is, actually quite easy and simple. The one we're going to do is a vegetarian version. So let's get started. What I've got here, I've got a pan that's nice and hot. You just need a frying pan, is the best thing to use. We will start off a little bit of oil in there. That's olive oil, sunflower oil, vegetable oil, absolutely fine, whatever you want to use. Okay, the first thing that goes in there, and I've pre-chopped everything because you don't want to watch me chopping things, you know how to chop. Onion, just a straightforward white onion. But red onion would be fine. If you've got frozen onions in the freezer, absolutely fine. We actually use those quite a lot in the cafe when we're doing a base, because they taste great, they do the job, and they're nice and simple. So that's the first thing, get the onions going away. While they're starting to, I'll just turn the heat down slightly because I don't want them to burn. Whilst those are starting to caramelise a little bit and soften, let's see what else we've got here. We have got chopped yellow peppers, chopped red peppers. Doesn't matter, I happen to pick up a yellow one and a red one. If you've got green, if you've only got red, or only yellow or orange, it doesn't matter. Again, frozen ones, you can buy in the supermarkets, bags of mixed frozen peppers, sliced. They work well too. I picked a red and a yellow for the colour, really. I've also got, that's one small red chilli, de-seeded and just chopped. You could use chilli flakes if you want to. You could use chilli powder. I like the fresh because it's a nice fresh dish, and that helps with that. I've also got some chopped tomatoes in a tin. They're becoming a bit easier to find out there. If you haven't got chopped tomatoes, you could use passata. If you can get the whole tomatoes, just chop them up a little bit. We've also got the things you always need, some salt and some pepper. I've also got some sweet smoked paprika, which is in the supermarkets if it's not in your store cupboard. Some cumin seeds, cumin powder would be just as good, and some coriander seeds. I like the seeds, you get a pop in your mouth, but if you've just got the powder, it works absolutely fine. Okay, they're starting to brown slightly. What's going in next are the seeds. So just a little sprinkle of cumin seeds, not too many, and a little sprinkle of the coriander seeds, which I haven't taken anything off. There we go. Like whenever you're using spices, you want them to go into effectively a dry pan rather than when there's a sauce in there, because the dry pan will help to release the flavours a little bit more, and you get a much more rounded flavour. The oils come out of them a little bit, which is nice. Next thing that's going to go in are the peppers. As you can see on here, we've just got a little bit of coloration on there now. I don't want to burn them. So red peppers go in, and the yellow peppers go in. Let's get those out of the way. Time to give it just a quick little stir. Okay, starting to smell the cumin and the coriander coming off now as they start to toast through in the pan. Next thing, the chilies are going to go in. Okay, so as I said, that's one small de-seeded veg. If you want it really hot, you can do. Some recipes have chili. If you look online, some won't. It doesn't matter, however you like it. Particularly if you're cooking this for breakfast, you might not want chili. If you're cooking it for lunch or supper, you might want a bit of heat in it. Up to you. The next thing that's going in, which I forgot to mention, I do apologise, in my garlic crusher, I have got 1 clove of garlic. If you haven't got a garlic crusher, just peel it and chop it finely. That goes straight in the pan. With garlic, you never want to have the garlic too early because you run the risk of burning it. And cooked garlic tastes great, burnt garlic really doesn't. It can ruin the whole dish. So we've got those going in there. Okay. So we've got onions, we've got garlic, we've got chilies, we've got the peppers, we've got some cumin seeds, and we've got some coriander seeds. The next thing that's going to go in is my sweet smoked paprika. Pretty much all the supermarkets, when you go to the spice aisle, will have regular paprika, hot paprika, and smoked paprika. The smoky one that you're looking for. So just a little sprinkle, and there's probably, I'm making a portion for 2 by the way, there's probably a level teaspoon going in there. So we've got a nice hum of paprika going through that. Give that a little bit of a stir. Okay, next thing, black pepper, half a dozen grinds of that, a bit of salt, 3 or 4 grinds of that, another little stir. Okay, next thing that's going to go in are the chopped tomatoes. So we're looking for, I'd say, a nice consistency of sauce here. It's not soup, it's more like a stew consistency. So that bubbles away, and then one little secret ingredient that's going to go in, tomato ketchup. If you look at a lot of the recipes online, they'll say tomato puree. I cook, and a lot of chefs do, quite a lot with tomato ketchup because A, it's tomatoey, and B, it's got sugar in it, so it adds a little bit of sweetness to the dish. Because sometimes, particularly with tomato dishes, they can be slightly bitter, slightly harsh, even if you're using tin tomatoes. So just a little squirt of ketchup just gives that a bit of sweetness. Let's have a little taste of that one. That's nice. It's not cooked through yet, but it's tomatoey. There's a bit of sweetness from the ketchup. I'm getting some paprika. The cumin, the coriander is there as well. So that's the stew. What you're going to want to do now, ideally, is let that simmer away for about 15-20 minutes until everything's cooked through, the peppers have gone soft, and it's ready for the next phase. The next phase being, and I've got one that I did earlier here. As you can see with this one, it's now, everything's gone softer and it's cooked down a little bit. This one's already hot because I've just taken this off the stove now. And as soon as it's cooked through, what I'm now looking for is for that to just start bubbling gently, which it's just about to do. And while we're just waiting for that, if you are finding it difficult to get chopped tomatoes in the shop, I mean, a couple of weeks ago they were one of the things, along with flour and pasta, that had just vanished. The supermarkets I've been into recently, they're starting to come back on, which is okay. If you really can't get any, you can substitute that with, it's a tomatoey sauce. So passata is great, which is effectively chopped tomatoes blitzed up and strained through. You could even use a tin of tomato soup, cup of soup. It's a tomatoey base, and if you've got something like even a cup of soup, which there's plenty of them out there, you might have in your cupboard already, and you've got some fresh tomatoes and you chop those up and put in there, it's going to work. Okay, you're just looking for a tomatoey sauce, so that will be absolutely fine. So as you can see here, we're starting to bubble away. What we've got, 2 nice free-range eggs, and all we do, because we're just looking to poach these on top, is literally crack 1 on, crack 2 on, a little bit more seasoning on the top, because what I'm doing now is getting some seasoning into that egg white as it cooks, and we're almost there, folks. Take the lid back, just pop that on, and what that will do, it will help the tomatoes cook through on top. So, and that now, because I put a lid on, isn't really going to take very long at all. The same as you'd poach an egg in water, it's going to be a few minutes and we're there. I mean, if you look already, the yolk's starting to go If you haven't got a lid, doesn't matter, just leave it simmering away. It will take longer. But because we've got the lid on, there's steam going around in the top, which is helping to cook that yolk on the top. There's nothing to stop you if you wanted to, if you don't want to poach the egg on top, or you're ready to go, make the sauce, put a fried egg on top of it, egg on top, it will be just as nice. But we always think it's nice with that. And then, that's almost there. You can see the whites starting to come on the egg now. Now, if we were doing this with meat in, traditionally you'd put something like chorizo in there, which is a classic one. But you could do the same thing. This is not the time to be traditional. We're trying to use things that are in our cupboards in the supermarket. You could put bacon in that. You could put normal sausage in that. You could put some ham in that. There's no reason, if you've got a bit of mincemeat in there, that would go in as well. Whatever you fancy. We've got a nice spicy tomato sauce with some meat in, if you want that way. If you want to put this on its own, it's delicious as it is. You'll see some recipes have maybe got some crumbled feta on top. That's delicious. But at this time, when everybody's stuck in, and particularly the kids are stuck in, a lot of what we're trying to do is to make meals that everybody would like, and not all of the little ones like feta because it's a bit strong in taste. Here's a nice little alternative. This is some cream cheese. So at this point, when we're almost there, all I'm going to do is just take some teaspoons of cream cheese and just dot that around the top. Just to let that warm through, and that will actually start to melt into there a little bit. If you don't like the idea of cream cheese, wait till it's cooked. Spoon some yogurt on there, just some natural yogurt will work perfectly well. There we go, just some nice little things of cream cheese in there. Lid on. The other thing you can put on are, if you've got some fresh herbs, which we don't have in the kitchen today, some freshly chopped parsley or some coriander or some spinach or some watercress if you want to put some greens in there. All delicious. So, in the 30 seconds left before I take the lid off and show you the final finished dish, that's a shakshuka, a Middle Eastern, North African origin tomato and pepper stew with eggs. That's the basis of it. Chili or not, garlic or not, you really want paprika, cumin and some coriander in there. And then meat, and it's a lovely base. And there we go. As you can see now, we're getting to the point where the egg whites are cooked through. Another 20 seconds of that's done. We're still going to have nice runny yolks. We've got some melted cream cheese, nice, rich and tomatoey. Perfect for breakfast, brunch, lunch, or a supper dish. Really nice and easy. That's shakshuka, folks. Give it a go, see what you think, and particularly if you try something new, pop some comments on the bottom of the YouTube video, or if you're a customer of the cafe, on any of the cafe pages, and let's see you have some fun with this. Thank you, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.